How to build the 2027 financial media biz. So this is what, you know, you have to think. What advantage do you have? What advantage do I have starting now versus starting, last year, starting 5 years ago, starting 10 years ago, starting 20 years ago? We can go on and on. But it's interesting, right? Like, so The Street is a Wall Street, uh, interviewing show. And they don't really have much going on YouTube at all. But they were big 10 years ago, or I don't know what big means, but visible. So you just don't know. There's changing owners, changing strategies, changing reasons for existing, which goes back to the owners thing. All I know is what I have to do is find the most efficient way to generate customers for newsletter clients, but also be also be interesting enough that people tune in. So it's got to be a little fun. Like, I think the Amit is investing. Honestly, this Amit Kukurja, Amit is investing. So this guy just goes live for 3 hours a day on YouTube for market close and market open. Actually, I guess 6 hours a day. It's a lot. And now he has some buddies, so he does a podcast in the second half. I don't really like listening to the podcast part. I'll listen to part of him doing just talking. And he also doesn't have ads on it, but he gets to talk to Alex Karp. But he also has, like, I guess $3 to $5 million, something like that he's investing with. So, I mean, talking about every little market event really seems like excessive. But at the same time, that's what people are tuning in for, just sort of background chatter. And it was sort of captivating today, I guess, for a minute for Fed meeting, the Fed FOMC minutes, to be live streaming during that. It sort of brought me back to watching Meet Kevin's live streams and sort of seeing how this could all actually, people could watch me watching something else, which feels really dumb. Like when you're sitting here watching a YouTube video and you're streaming yourself, it feels like, why would people watch this? Why would anyone at all watch this? Like, any viewers? But they do. And it's something about, like, familiarity of what you're watching is going to have a broader audience than you. And also they see you watching something, which is kind of like you're both doing the same thing. It's something like that. But you got to be careful about who the customer is too, because I've streamed watching some of these, like Chris Sane, just more like broad appeal financial YouTube channels, and I stream myself watching them and playing them to do just that, to try to get more people to start to view the lives, and they do. And I have gotten a customer from that, and then it resulted in a bunch of chargebacks. So, it's a double-edged sword, going for the widest possible net, but also getting customers that you think are going to be high value for the newsletter operators. But the point is, you just got to try a bunch of stuff. That's really all there is to it. And streaming on X is really easy now. I did have the first interview today, which was a big milestone during the live. Well, not really during the live. I actually recorded at 8 a.m. because that's when he wanted to do it there in the UK. And then was able to play that during the live. So that's a little added, insertion, time filling technique to play a live video of myself as interviewing a CEO during the 3 hour live. I don't know how viewers are going to respond to that. You have to be real efficient, artful, careful not to turn off viewers. Like, for example, Zip Trader will do a sponsored ticker at the end of his videos. Charlie, another financial media company YouTuber, and it works because people are already sucked into his actual picks in the beginning, and then he'll do the sponsored pick at the end. What doesn't work, I believe, It's just doing the sponsor pick. So you have to meet people where they are. Jason Lemkin was just posted about that as well on X. And, not talk all about your company, but talk about what's going on in the market. The Guggenheim insurance, Warren Buffett insurance comparisons, the Strait of Hormuz. We did talk about the interview, but the lighting on the CEO wasn't good. It's going to be the case for a lot of probably CEO interviews, unless they're in tech or software or whatever. And so for that reason, investor relations to a web page through SMS could be good. But I do just have to make a couple of changes for SMS with Betwixt. So I'm going to make those and see if I can get carrier review approved. Just have to move some privacy policies around and just make sure I have their language on there that they recommend. It's just a few changes, really. It shouldn't take more than half an hour. But that's pretty much it. I mean, sort of one step forward at a time. And all I really know is that some people are going to tune in. Like, it is going to happen. So it's just a matter of time, really, and showing up again and again. And I did do sort of some crazy like X tweets, reposts, but I don't really know, with the all caps, kind of like you're one of the like Walter Bloomberg or Squawk Box or Wall Street Squawk, Wall Street Engine, the Squawk, Kobayashi letter, like these accounts that, Amit's doing it. He's kind of the only person that was actually on it. Like I went to Bloomberg, I went to all the different people going live on YouTube. The only person actually going live with the president's, speech at the right time was Amit. So the guy is on it. There's a reason he has all the subscribers. I don't really want to get into just talking about whatever the news is every single day. You just get lost in the sauce a little bit. Like it might hurt my trading, but it is what it is. Like Kevin Warsh, meet Kevin, for whatever reason didn't do it today, but he's obviously, the gold standard pretty much. I mean, obviously he's pretty loopy, but anyone who's really made a ton of money is kind of like that. So it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, one day at a time, but just trying to see where I fit in here, without thinking about, only thinking about organic strategies. Organic is really the only strategy at this point that I only have, $28,000 or something, and I'm trading with it. So I'm not just going to burn it on Meta ads and for $10 CPL and try to run it up to like, 3,000 subscribers and then just do nothing with the subscribers. It's only 1% of them click my emails anyway, whether I do like a, email where I'm just using the transcript for the YouTube, or whether I do like a well-formatted like 1440 like email, like a daily morning brew type email. So if only 1% of 3,000 people click, I mean, that's only 30 clicks per email. So it's going to take a long time to recoup that $28,000 if I blow it. And I'll have to keep emailing them, and I wouldn't, have the motivation to keep doing it. The incentive, like it just wouldn't make sense. So maybe if if I got up to like $200,000 and then had 20,000 emails, and then was getting more like 200 clicks per email, maybe it would start to be a channel that I'd focus more on. But it's getting to be, email deliverability is super hard, I assume, for people who are even really good at it. Like people just aren't opening emails, because think about me, like I get so many emails and AI is just ruining all the writing. I mean, I'm making the newsletter. The one I made with AI got the same number of clicks as the one I did just myself. I mean, I picked the tweets to then, transform into an AI newsletter. So I still do the curation of what I wanted it to talk about. But at the end of the day, like writing is dead. I mean, unless you were doing it for a very specific targeted outreach, or like, um, you know, doing it in some sort of like extremely personal, vulnerable, like work of life's work type thing. It's hard to really put into words where it's useful, but um, writing newsletter emails yourself is a losing game right now. So yeah, I think live. I think I'm in the right place. I'm just a little bit, fumbling my way around. I did get some AirPods, so I'll be able to, you know, I had other AirPods, but they kept dying. AirPods always die. I have fake AirPods; those don't seem to charge. You know, the AirPods I do have, I dropped one of them in the sink and then went out, so I only have one ear on it for the most part. But anyway, I already have the other computer hooked up. They both have Ethernet, so I'll be able to hear myself as I'm live. The problem with the interview today was I couldn't hear him through Restream, which was really stupid. It's like Zoom, you can hear the other person talking. The only way I could hear him was through the actual um, live through YouTube or through X, like hearing what other people were hearing. So I was doing an interview on like a 20-second delay or 30-second delay. It was extremely uncomfortable, but I think he understood that, and we got through it, and I was animated enough to do it, and I could see doing it like, again and again and again, like several times a day. Like you could almost see doing this as like a 24/7 show, kind of like a TikTok shop, or like a um, whatever that show is, that shopping network that used to exist. Not TLC, but the home shopping network, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Um, Kind of like Whatnot, like an auction. Anyway, um, or maybe just try to be more like Bloomberg. But the Bloomberg people, they were, it's funny, they just talk during their podcast or their live show, and it's like they have the great setup and everything, but they really have nothing to say until, I mean, they had some equities sales research person come on and saying long-term stuff. You kind of get a picture into like the people who have it figured out are the people who are just starting out, like Amit, the people who are doing it raw, TBPN. There's no there's no secret sauce hiding in legacy media, except for, well, probably a lot actually in terms of like production value and setup and all that. But it's not something I need to worry about now. I just need uh, minimal viable dollars. All right, this is really long. Follow me on X.